So I want to talk about my favorite subject, which is multi-screen. And as you know, Samsung has a lot of screens, right? But for this session, I really want to talk about building multi-screen applications. So multi-screen applications are really apps that actually use mobile devices and smart TVs. You can't see this yet, but there's a smart TV behind this box. And also, multi-screen apps are really about, it's really about connecting devices into a seamless and shared experience around the living room. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We're going to talk about two main components of what we call our multi-screen ecosystem. And the first one is what we call the MultiScreen SDK. And obviously, this is for developers. And this provides you all the APIs to create multi-screen applications for multiple mobile platforms, and of course, the smart TV. And if you create a multi-screen application, we really want to help promote your application. So we have a service called SmartView, and there's a presence on the mobile side and on the TV side for SmartView. And the idea behind SmartView is we want to promote your app, we want to help users discover your multi-screen application, even help them install it and launch it, both on the TV and the mobile side. And there's also a presence on the TV for SmartView. So if your users are browsing the Smart Hub and TV applications, they'll find your multi-screen app there as well. And when they select the icon for the multi-screen app on the TV, we're actually going to help them get the mobile application launched through push notifications. All right, so let's talk about the multi-screen SDK in a little more detail. It's really important to understand how these applications are built. We're really talking about building two applications. One is for the TV, and one is for the mobile device. Now, we really like to think about the multi-screen applications as being one application with multiple views. On the TV side, I like to call that the public view. That's what everyone in the living room sees. And on the mobile side, this is really about your personal or private view. And it's also about completely controlling the experience from the mobile device. So the idea is to never use the TV remote. We're going to do everything from the mobile side. So as far as the APIs go, we provide APIs for Android, for iOS, and for JavaScript. So we really like to promote both native applications on the mobile device and mobile web apps, all connected to the smart TV, which primarily uses HTML5. And on the TV, your application can actually run as an installed application, or you can host the application in the cloud, and we'll load it for you at runtime. Okay, so let's talk about three main components of our SDK. There's a lot of features to the SDK, but really these three components are really what you need to understand in order to create a compelling app. And that's really what I call the discovery, launch, and communication phase. So for Discover, mobile devices really need a way to actually discover a TV on our network. It's important to be able to select the right TV. You may want to default to a single TV if there's only one on your network. And then, of course, we want to launch the TV experience from the mobile app. And once both applications are launched, of course, the real fun begins, and we can provide communication between those applications. So it's better to show this working instead of talking about it all day. And we're going to reveal a secret TV behind the curtain of the box. Okay, so first up, I'm going to demo a couple applications that come with our SDK, and they're sample applications that we'll provide all the source code to as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and launch a mobile web app. And in this case, what I'm going to do is launch a photo sharing application. This one uses the Flickr API. So in this app, I'm going to load up some interesting photos from Flickr. And of course, we can browse those on the mobile device, but we really want to get it onto the TV. So again, the first step we need to do is discover a compatible TV. So I'm going to select the cast icon. And I just found a TV on my network. I'll select it. And if everything goes correctly, it'll actually launch on the TV. Okay, so now that I'm launched on the TV, it's actually already connected here. So it all happened in kind of one step, or a couple of steps. So now if I want to see an image, I can view it on the TV, and we can go full screen, maybe select something else a little more interesting. So one thing to note about what's happening on the TV is that was an HTML5 web application that was loaded from the cloud. So this is not using traditional techniques like DLNA or other types of things. This is about you being able to create a TV experience that presents the content in the way you want to. So again, a couple more things here. It's really fast, based on WebSockets. And it's really more compelling when you have about 5 or 10 people in the room doing this together, because we can connect any number of mobile devices to the TV. Okay, so let me show one more demo here to get the picture. So this one I'm going to actually launch a music sharing application using a fantastic API from our friends at SoundCloud. So I'm going to connect to my SoundCloud account. And I'm going to go through the same process where I'm going to discover a TV on my network. Let's see if this works. It's always fun doing a live demo. Okay, so now I'm going to launch on the TV. And now the same thing is happening as before. It's actually launching an HTML5 web app from the cloud. And what will happen now is that the applications will automatically get connected. So of course, the same kind of thing, I can actually listen to music on my mobile device, but what I really want to do is let the music play on the TV. So I'll select a song here. And the music will start playing on the TV. And what's important to note here is that we're not streaming audio from the mobile device to the TV. What I'm doing is instructing the TV about what audio to play, and I'm using the mobile device as my controller, my input. I mean, so really I could just shut off the mobile device and I could go about my house and listen to music, and then anytime I can come back and maybe select a different song. Again, this is even more compelling when you have multiple people in the room. You could imagine setting up a jukebox-style application for a party. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close that application. And I'm going to go back over here and tell you a little bit more about how those applications were built. So it's Developer Day. Let's actually look at code. So what I want to show you is some sample Android code that goes through the same process for discover, launch, and communicate. And really what I want to show you here is how simple it is. There's just a few commands you need to implement. We tried to make it as easy as possible. And we also tried to make all of the APIs consistent across Android, iOS, and JavaScript, with only small differences, of course, in syntax for the languages. So here what we're going to do is we're going to call device.search, which is going to return you a list of TVs that are on your network. And the idea is when you get back that list of devices, you can present that to the user, and they can select which device they want to work with. Now, the next step is we want to launch our application on the TV. So there's actually 2 steps to this. We'll actually get a reference to our application. This will return you an application instance, which then you can just simply call, oh, this is out of order. You can simply call application.launch. Now, once both applications are launched, then the real fun begins, of course, where we can communicate between the two. Again, we use a metaphor of a channel. So you're creating a communication channel that all devices join. And then once all the devices are joined, you can send messages between any device. So you can broadcast to everyone, you can send to just the TV, or you can send to a specific client. Again, remember, we can have any number of mobile devices connected, so I could send a message to my buddy sitting next to me, a private message if you want, or I could send a public message to the TV. So using these series of messages, you can really create some interesting and compelling applications. Sorry, my slides are out of order. I'll just go ahead and skip those. So to recap, the SDK provides you everything you need to create these multi-screen applications. And for the mobile side, you can submit those mobile apps to any app store. And then, of course, for the TV, you can submit it to Samsung for it to be a pre-installed application on the TV, or you can tell us about the URL for your TV's web app, and it will be loaded on the TV dynamically. Now, the first version of the SDK is actually live today, and you can get it at multiscreen.samsung.com. And there's going to be a lot of new features coming soon. So the second part of our ecosystem is called SmartView. And again, if you do create the multi-screen app, again, we want to promote it. So the idea behind SmartView is it's both on the mobile side and the TV, and we're going to actually showcase your applications. We'll present a list to the user of multi-screen apps that are compatible with their TV. And with one touch, you can actually launch both the TV component and the mobile component. And I'm going to show that in another demo in a second. So what will happen here is the user will select the multi-screen panel, and it will show you the list of multi-screen apps. Very simple. Now, when you do the same process, again, we'll launch both the TV app and the mobile app at the same time. What's cool about this, you saw earlier that I had to do a discover and a launch and things like that. When we launch your app from SmartView, what we're going to do is send the mobile app the information about what TV to connect to. So basically, you can skip the entire discover process and just get right down to the communication. Now, we're also going to do the same thing on the TV side. So if a user is browsing SmartHub, they can actually find your multi-screen apps here. And of course, if they select it, we'll actually launch it on the TV for you. But really what's important here is that once we launch the app on the TV, we're also going to send a notification to your mobile device, which will then allow you to get into the entire experience all at once. So I'm going to demo that as well. But again, send the push notification, ask the user, hey, would you like to get connected to this app? They say yes, launches, and actually launches on the TV at the same time. The reason we wanted to go that far with it is that multi-screen apps can be quite challenging both to create and to understand from a user point of view. However, once people get it, they really love it. So we want to do everything we can to help get users into the application so that it makes it really easy. And as a matter of fact, what we'll do with SmartView as well is that if the mobile app is not installed, we'll actually take them to a place where they can install it. So we're going to help you kind of distribute your applications as well. All right, so let me give you a demo of how that works. Okay. Okay, so here we are in Samsung SmartView. And if you remember earlier, we have a multi-screen section here. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me a list of applications that are compatible with the TV that are on my network. And of course, we're doing a demo, so everything is all the Wi-Fi is going to be slow for me today because I'm on screen. Okay, so we have a list of applications. This could be any application that really has both a TV and a mobile component, and one that allows for the connectivity between the two. So before, I showed you the Flickr and SoundCloud demos by starting from the Flickr app and the SoundCloud app. But here, I'm going to start from SmartView. So the idea is we can get into this app from one click. So I'll select Flickr. And what should happen now is it will load on the TV, and it loaded on the mobile device at the same time, and we're automatically connected. So once it finishes loading images, I can show you that. So yeah, we're connected, and we're rolling. So it's pretty compelling to be able to have that kind of experience with one click. So a few images here. And again, these applications that I'm showing you are simple on purpose because we're going to be including them in the SDK as example applications that you can look at the source and learn how we created these applications. All right, so what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and terminate that. I'm going to go back to SmartView. And I'll show you the same scenario with SoundCloud. So we're going to launch the SoundCloud app on the TV. And once it's launched, we'll launch the mobile app as well. And it said, whoa, something went wrong. So we won't do that. That's okay, I have more. So, another thing we can do is, provide sharing media such as audio and video and photos. This also could be game applications. It's really up to you to decide. What I really want to show here is that one-touch get into an experience kind of view. So I'm going to show you a little application. And this is just a fun little application that I actually built for my 7-year-old as a Christmas present. And it allows you just to kind of play around and drive Santa's sleigh. So the application itself is not as important as the concept, the fact that I'm trying to get across that you can actually start this application with just one click. And this application is an Android native application on the mobile device. And on the TV, again, it's a cloud-based HTML5 app. But what's interesting about what's happening on the TV now is we're using WebGL. And the reason I want to mention that is that when you're working with the smart TV, when you create these applications, you can take advantage of everything that the smart TV offers. So there's so many things that you can do with the smart TV, and all of that is available in the smart TV 5.0 SDK as well. It does things like voice input, camera, motion control, audio, video, 3D. You're going to hear more about multi-screen gaming later. But that's the key, is that you can really get into these quick, and we have some pretty decent communication here. Again, with sort of low latency, WebSockets, secure messaging. I'll drop a few presents on the house. Okay. All right, let's show one more here. Let's see here. I'm going to launch an application called El Tiempo. So El Tiempo is a weather service here in Spain. And we asked them to create a prototype for us for today. And they did so in about 2 weeks. It was really easy for them to put together. So I'll select it, and we'll launch it on the TV. And we'll launch their mobile app as well. Now, of course, their mobile app has a lot of features in it. But one of the things we built for the prototype is, let's say that I wanted to ask the TV to show me alerts whenever there's a significant weather event that may happen in the area. And it's not going to work. Oh, it did work. Good. So you can see that we've got an alert on the TV. It's going to show you what's happening in that location and things like that. So they're going to take this app a lot further. The idea was to really put it in the hands of one of our partners and let them try out the SDK to see what they can create in a short amount of time. Okay, so if you remember what I was talking about earlier, I'm launching the applications from the mobile device. But I'm also going to be able to do this directly from the TV as well. So let's say that your users are browsing the smart TV using the TV remote. The idea is we're going to select an application, and it's going to send a notification to the mobile device to get into the app. So for this one, I'm going to move over to the right. I'm going to select the social media application. And when I do, what's going to happen is it's going to launch on the TV, but if you notice, it sent me a notification here on my mobile device. So now if I say yes, it'll launch the mobile app component of this multi-screen app at the same time. Okay, so we're already connected to the TV, and it's actually logging into Facebook right now because we're using the Facebook API for this particular demo. Okay. So we're all connected, both apps are up and running, and we can now share photos. Let me put the clicker down for a second. So in this application, we can do photos and videos from Facebook. It's very similar to the Flickr application. And you may have recognized this the other day when the protesters were out. I took a few shots of that to show. Took this shot on the beach just the other day. And again, when we're talking about building the multi-screen apps, it's not about mirroring what's happening on the mobile device to the TV, and it's not about using DLNA or other types of APIs. It's about giving you the control to show what you want on the TV. For instance, here we're showing comments from Facebook along with the image, and of course we can go full screen with it as well. So just bring up one more here. And you can see all the different people that have commented on the image. And again, it's much better when you have multiple people in the room sharing together. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Smart View. And I'm going to bring up that dashboard one more time. Okay. So again, we have the dashboard. So lastly, I'll just show you one more time about the whole push notification system, which is pretty great because we want people to get into these apps both from the mobile device and the TV. So I'm going to move over to the SoundCloud application one more time. And let's see, if I go right to SoundCloud, and let's see, go back. Yeah, let's launch SoundCloud or El Tempio. Either one's cool. So I will get the push notification and launch it as well. So let's go back and talk about how this is all going to come together. The way this is going to work is you will create your applications using the MultiScreen SDK, and then of course we'll help you promote your applications through Samsung Smart View. And the process for getting into the system is going to be very, very easy. We're definitely going to make it as painless as possible. So we just come to our site and register your application. Tell us what the URL is for your TV application if you want to load it from the cloud. And on the mobile side, take Android for instance. Let's say you give us the package name of your Android application and we'll launch it directly on the device. And also give us a URL if the application is not installed, where do you want to take the user? And that could be Google Play, Samsung Apps, or any other place you want to go to help the user get the application installed. So once all that information is in the system, then of course it goes through a verification process, a very simple one, and it makes its way into Smart View, which is where we can actually promote and help users discover your applications. So I should mention again that the MultiScreen SDK is live today at multiscreen.samsung.com, the first version. But we're working on new features and enhancements, and of course the entire Smart View ecosystem. We're going to launch that this summer. And if you want to find out more information, definitely visit multiscreen.samsung.com, or you can email me directly. So we really hope that you guys explore the SDKs, look into all the different types of experiences you can create around multi-screen and everything that Samsung has to offer for all the different screens that we make. Thank you very much.